UFC Perth takes place this weekend, and this is going to be my full card breakdown, predictions, yaps, and more. I'm going to highlight some betting opportunities, some favorites that I'm in on, and some underdogs that I like as well. We're going to bust into it. It's going to be a bit of an unhinged session, so I hope you will enjoy. And if you enjoy my takes or you want to dispute some, meet me in the comment section. First fight of the night is going to be Lookboonmee and Alexia Tainara. This is a matchup where Lookboonmee is a kickboxer primarily, and I say primarily because she has utilized some grappling in some of her other matchmaking. Against Alexia Tainara, I don't think that option is going to be there. I do believe that Alexia Tainara is going to be the physically stronger fighter, and I think she's going to be the more well-versed in the grappling. Lookboonmee is an incredible kickboxer, but I give the power edge to Alexia Tainara. And honestly, guys, I just really love everything that I've seen from Tainara so far. I like her energy. I like her attitude. I think she's going to come out here, show up, and show out. And I think that the Perth crowd's going to get a treat as she goes to war with Lookboonmee. Give me Alexia Tainara, the Brazilian, to win to start things off. And I also like her price tag as well. Then we got a New Zealand's own Brando Pericic taking on Alicia Ellison. This is the Snack Panther. And Brando Pericic, he's a Croatian-born fighter, a Croatian bloodline fighter, I should say, out of New Zealand. And I've actually had the opportunity to meet this guy at the last UFC Perth. I saw him in the airport, and he was an incredibly friendly individual. I do want to say, though, bias aside, I do think he smashes here. I think that Brando is the more dangerous of the two fighters. I think that he is at a little bit of a speed deficit, I will say, but I think that his overall game is going to show, and his aggression is going to pay dividends as well. He's got the better team, and I think that it's going to show up here. He's coming over with a whole squad. It's him, it's Navajo, it's all the fucking boys together here, and I think that, Ulberg, how could I forget Ulberg? And all the boys here are just going to show up and show out. I really do think that. So Brando Pericic, I like him here. He did open as a slight favorite. Now he's all the way down to a minus 200. So, most of the MMA community is seeing what I see here, and they think that Brando's going to go out here. And not only do I think he wins, guys, but this is an aggressive dude. If you're new to Brando, he's going to come out here and he's going to be firing on all cylinders straight off the rip, and I expect them to win in either round 1 or round 2. I'm leaning more towards a round 1 KO for Brando, so I think he gets it done, and I think you guys are going to enjoy his fight style. He's going to be a welcome addition to the heavyweight debut. Then we've got Michelle Montague taking on Luana Carolina. Michelle Montague is New Zealand's first ever female UFC fighter. Pause. Right. Now, I know that might not sound like a big deal to a lot of people, but the lack of depth that New Zealand has in the MMA scene for women specifically shows just how impressive this is. And Michelle Montague didn't do this from the New Zealand backyard. She's been training over there in Florida with Kayla Harrison, and she's been in global travel and, worldwide combat experience. And so I think Michelle Montague, 6-0 by 6 submissions, might I add, all rear naked chokes, is a girl that can find her spot. She's got wrestling credentials. She's got judo. Her striking is coming along as well, although defensively she leaves a lot to be desired. I expect Michelle Montague to go out here to get takedowns on Luana Carolina and to find the submission. I think this is going to be a spot where she can shine, and I expect Luana Carolina to get submitted in either round 1 or round 2. So give me Michelle Montague to go out there and win this fight inside the distance, how she's been getting it done. Give me Michelle Montague by submission. Then we got Colby Thickness. That's still one of the most unhinged names that the UFC has ever brought to us. I fucking love it. Colby the Thickness, the cheesy grin himself, taking on Josias Musasa. Both these guys have recently lost their undefeated status. However, Josias Musasa lost it to Carlos Vieira. Not exactly a credible loss. Colby Thickness lost it to Alexandria Topuria. Both these guys came up short in their last, but a lot of people were just saying Colby Thickness lost to Topuria. He still looked competitive in that showing. Josias Musasa laid a fucking egg last time. I agree with both those statements, but if you just look at Josias Musasa, you can tell this guy packs a huge amount of power. He is a physical specimen, and I really don't think that I can just easily side with Colby Thickness when I haven't seen him, put it on the UFC level. As far as Josias Musasa as well, I'm going to lean ever so slightly to him because, like I say, I think he's just the better specimen in here. But as far as a betting angle goes, I'm leaving this fight well alone. Both these guys are going to have to show me something for me to want to bet on either of them moving forward. Then we got Jamie Mullarkey taking on Rolando Bedoya. And it's like we're keeping the theme here because Rolando Bedoya is a guy who just cannot win. I think he's on a 3-fight losing skid here inside of the UFC. Jamie Mullarkey, on the other hand, he's able to win at points, and then he gets absolutely flatline put out at others. Jamie Mullarkey is a fighter who is very technical. He's always game. He's hungry, and he comes in there. He's durable until he's not. His chin has failed him at points, and it's hard to say that he's necessarily chinny because the guys that are putting him out do hit hard. But Jamie Mullarkey here hasn't been able to put it together, even though he's not that old. I think in fight years he is quite old, and 17-8 record staring back at me. I'm gonna lean slightly towards Rolando Bedoya because Rolando Bedoya, while he has been losing, he's always effort maxing. The guy comes out here, gives it his all. He's always still smiling in the third round, even if he's getting the shit beat out of him. So I know that Rolando Bedoya's chin's still going to be there, and I have questions about Jamie Mullarkey's chin. So I'm going to take Rolando Bedoya based on the fact that I've seen better durability from him. His activity is always relatively high, and Jamie Mullarkey is probably the most winnable matchup that he's been given to date. So I'm going to lean towards the Peruvian. I'm going to go Rolando Bedoya to win this fight by KO or decision. Then we have Jonathan Micallef taking on Urban Elliott. This is a situation where Urban Elliott was the motherfucker. He was that guy, and everyone was all over him until his last matchup where Xiak Young Ko absolutely bodied him. And now it seems like the narrative is that everybody's going to jump on Jonathan Micallef here as an Urban Elliott fade. And while I'm picking Jonathan Micallef, it's not an Urban Elliott fade. I liked a lot of the things that I saw from Micallef in his last fight out in Australia, in Sydney. And I think that, he's going to grow on that performance. This is a guy who's pretty damn big for the weight class. He has huge body kicks. He's got a nice reach. And I expect him to go out here and be able to physically contend with Urban Elliott and then fight at range, blasting body kicks and impose his will. So give me Jonathan Micallef, and I actually think that he wins by knockout. I think that he's going to stuff some takedowns from Urban Elliott and cripple him with body shots. Then we got Cameron Rowston, the Battle Giraffe, and to all my We Want Picks premium members, you guys would know that I picked Cam Rowston in his Dana White's Contender Series fight as an official underdog opportunity. That play hit. It was a beautiful play. Cameron Rowston went out there, did his work against Brandon Holmes. In this matchup here, though, Andre Petroski is a known grappler. This is a guy who can grapple. He can hold people down at points in time. He does also have a questionable gas tank, though, and so I'm going to say that Cam Rowston can win here, even if he gets taken down multiple times, because we saw in that Torres-Finney fight, he's not looking to settle. He will continue to try and explode up, try and work his way back to the fence, and then get back up. I expect Cameron Rowston to probably get taken down at points here, but I think he's live to both win by KO or decision, because I think that in the later stages of the second round and the whole third round, I think he's going to be the fresher man in there, even if he's been taken down. So give me Cameron Rowston to win this as an underdog. I think that he can defeat Petroski here, especially given the geographical location of where this fight is taking place. Those Aussie crowds, man, they get relentless with the booing when people are just holding people down without damage. And I'm telling you, you got to watch out for that. Then we have my boy Navajo Stirling taking on Rodolfo Bellato. And guys, this is a bias pick, but it's still the right pick. Navajo Stirling is the fucking slam of the week. I think he goes out here and knocks out Rodolfo Bellato. This is a Bellato fade, and it is also a Navajo Stirling glaze. Look, listen, you can accuse me of a glaze session all you want of Navajo Stirling. This guy's the fucking man, right? He comes from where I come from. He fights representing New Zealand, and, I think that he is probably my favorite fighter at the moment. So, yes, bias on the table. I'm still going to be putting a boatload of cash on Navajo Stirling. I think he wins. I think he wins by knockout. And the reason being is you go through the tape, you see Rodolfo Bellato just walks forward and gets hit. Navajo Stirling is too big and too powerful for you to just walk down without the technique to follow it. So, Rodolfo Bellato, I think he's going to walk on something heavy here. I expect Navajo Stirling to grab the microphone after knocking his ass out, call for a bonus, and then call for a top 15 spot. Give me Navajo Stirling, the silverback, to win this fight by knockout. I expect it to be in rounds 1 or 2. God, that's crazy. It's on the prelims. We're just in the prelims. Then we've got Tom Nolan taking on Charlie Campbell, Charlie the Cannibal Campbell. Guys, this is my underdog opportunity. And the ironic thing about this is I was picking Evan Elder as an underdog in this same matchup here against Tom Nolan. Now I'm taking Charlie Campbell. They're fighting out the same camp. Evan Elder got on a plane, got his ass out there. He's going to be cornering Charlie Campbell. They've both been preparing for this matchup. While Charlie Campbell wasn't directly preparing for it initially, he is now going to be taking on Tom Nolan, and I expect him to be able to show up and show out because Tom Nolan is defensively flawed. You see, even in the fights that he's winning at the UFC, he's getting clipped. Bro is getting hit on the chin and he's getting put down. Charlie Campbell is going to have learnt from his mistakes. We saw on the Dana White's Contender Series when he got overly zealous, he got put out by Chris Duncan. How well is that age though? Chris Duncan has shown up and just turned out to be an absolute motherfucker. So Charlie Campbell, I'm going to expect them to go out here, play spoiler, because I'm telling you what, the Australian crowd is going to fucking love Tom Nolan. They're going to love this dude. Charlie Campbell is going to come out here. He's going to play spoiler. He's going to put Tom Nolan away. Official underdog opportunity. Then we got Justin Tafa versus Louis Sutherland. Guys, I want to preface this by saying I'm picking Justin Tafa. And I say that being a certified non-believer in the Tafa brothers. I've even got a photo of me meeting Junior Tafa. Fantastic dude. I don't have a lot of time for them as fighters. I don't think that they're exceptional fighters at the UFC level. However, I do think that Justin Tafa has a lot more UFC experience. He's going to be calm here. I expect him to go out here, handle business, whereas I think Louis Sutherland, the lights I think are just going to be too bright. The arena is going to be full of Australians cheering for Tafa. And even if Tafa just knocks them down, don't be surprised if they stop the fight. You know, we saw it with Derek Lewis and Ellison this year. That hometown bias, man, if they get a knockdown, which is very easy to happen, I expect the judges to give Tafa every opportunity to recover. If Sutherland gets dropped, though, I expect them to stop it. So that's something to consider before you place your bets. I know a lot of people have been reaching out to me saying they're picking Louis Sutherland in this spot. Then we have Jake Matthews, the Celtic kid, taking on Neil Magny. Guys, this is a battle of two veterans, except Jake Matthews is still in his prime. And I know how that sounds, but Neil Magny is old as shit. He's been fighting in the UFC forever. He is able to pull up veteran wins against people that aren't necessarily ready for all that he brings, but Jake Matthews is ready for all of that and more. Jake Matthews thrives in this type of matchmaking where it's a fight he's expected to win. Jake Matthews is going to go out here. He's going to probably dominate in the grappling. He's probably going to dominate in the striking. I expect him to win this fight 30-27. I do think Magny probably finds it to the final bell, but if not, I would lean towards a submission. So give me Jake Matthews to win this. I think he looks his price tag here, and I think that Neil Magny is one or two performances away from calling it a quits. Then we've got Jack Jenkins versus Ramon Taveras. This is a guy that the Australian crowd is going to go fucking nuts for. Listen through your TVs, man, because I expect the pop for Jack Jenkins to be as heavy and loud as that of the main event. Jack Jenkins is beloved by the people. He looks like the average Australian dude. They're obviously not physically within his shape, but the mustache, the haircut, everything. This is the poster child for Australia, and I expect them to go out here and make good for the people. I know that last time out he fought Gabriel Santos and, laid an egg, but Gabriel Santos is a motherfucker, man. Gabriel Santos gave Lerone Murphy everything he could handle and more, arguably beat Lerone Murphy. So for him to go out there, and defeat Jack Jenkins, I don't think you look at Jack Jenkins poorly from that. I think it was just, a tough matchup for him. Here against Ramon Taveras. Ramon Taveras is a boxer. More or less, that's it. Jack Jenkins is a multi-dimensional fighter that's going to be able to handle Ramon Taveras. I think he's not going to just get in the pocket and swing and bang, which is going to allow Ramon Taveras to have success. I think he's going to chew up the legs. I think he's going to utilize his leg kicking game. I think he's going to mix in some takedowns. Give me Farlap. Give me Jack Jenkins to win this. I'm going to say he gets a finish in round 3. How about that? I think he leg kicks Ramon Taveras. I think he chews him up. And then I think he spits him out in round 3. Then we got Jimmy Crute, the fucking brute, taking on Ivan Erslan. I considered taking Ivan Erslan here just because I'm a certified Jimmy Crute non-believer. But after rewatching the tape here, Navas Stirling, had his way with Ivan Erslan in the grappling for the most part. And Jimmy Crute does have pretty good takedowns. I'm going to say Jimmy Crute wins this fight by decision, by striking at points and then being durable. However, it's tough, man, because Ivan Erslan could chin him in round 1. we've seen Jimmy Crute struggle with his head movement in the past. I was actually, talking to a certain fighter, and I was telling him to call out Jimmy Crute because he doesn't move his head. So, I don't know, man. Jimmy Crute, low confidence pick. I think he wins by submission or decision. In the main event, wow, we got here quick, boys. We got Carlos Ulberg taking on Dominic Reyes. Guys, I love Dominic Reyes. Okay, I love him so much. He has won for me multiple times as the underdog opportunity. I've got him by knockout at fucking amazing pricing in multiple matchups now. I think the train stops here. I think Carlos Ulberg is too refined of a kickboxer. I think he's going to be too comfortable in the striking exchanges. I don't think it's going to get wild the way that Dominic Reyes wants it to. And I think that Dominic Reyes is aging. This isn't the same young specimen that fought John Jones. Even though he's had some good performances here, I expect Carlos Ulberg to turn up in peak condition, and I expect him to put on a kickboxing clinic. He'll either win by knockout or decision to close out the show. I think that City Kickboxing goes undefeated on this card here. And if you want to roast me in the comments for that, go right ahead, because I'll be keeping receipts. The boys are going to show up. They're going to show out. UFC Perth, it's going to be a banger. And I will be live for the entire card, so you can come and join me for a watch party as well. And if you want to see where my bets are going, sign up to wewantpicks.com/BetSam. The link is in the description of this video. For all bets and many other tools, code BetSam for 10% off. I'll see you at the cash counter.